In question 1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the decimals as a fraction. So that's going to be 5 over 100 times 3 over 10. Why 5 over 100? Because you move the decimal 2 places to the right, and in 0.3 move 1 place to the right. So the number of places that we move the decimal, that many zeros become a part of the 1 in the denominator. Multiply the numerators to each other. So that's 15. And the denominators to each other, 1000. Now we move the decimal 3 places to the left. So 0.015. Work out 2 whole number 2 over 3 minus 1 over 5. So first we convert the mixed number into an improper fraction. We multiply the denominator to the whole number and then add the result to the numerator. So 2 times 3 is 6 and 6 plus 2 is 8. Denominator remains the same. Now whenever we're adding or subtracting, unlike denominators, we have to make the denominators equal first. So in order to do that, I will multiply the first fraction by 5 and the second fraction by 3. So that's going to be 40 over 15 minus 3 over 15. Now we can subtract the numerators. So that is going to be 37 over 15. Since it's an improper fraction, we convert this into a mixed number by dividing 37 by 15. We know 15 twos are 30. 37 minus 30 is 7. So our answer is going to be 2 whole number, 7 over 15. If you notice, the denominator is the same. The only thing changes is the numerator. Question 2 says, write down the order of rotational symmetry of this shape. So if you look at this shape, we have 3 black flags in this and 3 white flags. So if we rotate it, the number of times this shape will maintain the original shape is 3 times. Because if we rotate it once, we get this flag over here on the second rotation. And if we rotate it again, on the 4th rotation, we will get this flag. So, and then back on the 6th rotation, we'll have this. So 3 rotations. So 3 order of symmetry. Part B says Samuel describes a special quadrilateral. It has only one line of symmetry. Its diagonals cross at right angles. Write down the name of this special quadrilateral. So if you remember, a kite has only one line of symmetry and the diagonals crossed at 90 degrees. So that means our quadrilateral is a kite. Question 3 says, write the numbers in order of size, starting with the smallest. So 4 cube is 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. 9 square is 9 times 9, which is 81. Square root of 196. If we prime factorize 196 and we divide it by 2, that's going to be 98. Now 2 is a prime number, so we leave it as it is. If we factorize 98 and once again divide it by 2, that's going to be 49. Can prime factorize into 7 times 7. So our prime factors are 2, 2, 7, and 7, which is basically 14 times 14, and that is 14 square. So if we square root 14 square, that's going to be 14. And we know 125 is 5 times 5 times 5. So that's 5 cube. Cube root of a cube number is the number itself. So if we take the cube root of 5 cube, that's going to be 5. So smallest over here is cube root of 125. Next we have is square root of 196. Then we have 9 square and lastly 4 cube. Question 4 says write 68% as a fraction in its lowest terms. So let's rewrite 68% as a fraction first. It's going to be 68 over 100. 68 and 100 both are even numbers, so let's divide it by 2. So it's going to be 34 over here and 50 over here. We can once again divide them by 2 because they're even numbers. So that's going to be 17. That's 25. So both 17 and 25 don't come in the same times table. So this is your lowest term. Part B says a bag contains red balls and blue balls. The balls are in the ratio of red is to blue, which is 3:5. Write down the fraction of the balls that are red. So for the balls that are red, in the ratio, it's 3 over here. So the numerator is going to be 3. And the denominator is going to be the sum of values in the ratio. So 3 plus 5. So that's going to be 3 over 8. If they're asking for the blue balls, that would be 5 over 8. By writing each number correct to one significant figure, estimate the value of. So we know that 2.78 cube would be 3 cube. 61.4 is going to be 60. And 0.893, that's going to be 0.9. So now if we solve this, 3 cube is 27 over 60 times 9 over 10. So these zeros get cancelled out and it becomes 27 over 54. And as we know, 27 times 2 is 54. So that means it's going to be 1 over 2 or 0.5. Question 6 says the pie chart shows information about the number of goals scored by each player in a football club. Write down the model class. So the model class or the mode is that value which shows the highest frequency for an event. So if you look over here, the biggest angle over here is for 0 to 5 goals. So that is your model class. Then in the next part, it's asking us that 8 of the players each scored 11 to 15 goals. Work out the total number of players in the club. So over here, we know that 8 players scored 11 to 15 goals. So what we will do is, we will write 72, which is the angle for 11 to 15 goals, equals to 8 over x. X is the total number of players times 360. So if we rearrange this, x is going to equal to 8 times 360 over 72. 8 ones are 8, 8 nines are 72, 9 ones are 9, and 9 times 40 is 360, which means x is 40. So that is your total number of players in the club. 7, what we will do is we'll rearrange this first. So I'm going to write 15a plus 6ay minus 5x minus 2xy. So now we factorize this, and I'm going to factorize this by grouping. So this is the first group and this is the second group. First group, between 15a and 6ay, we have 3a common. So 3a brackets 5 plus 2y. And between 5x and minus 2xy, we have negative x common. So it's going to be 5 plus 2y. So between 3a and negative x, we have 5 plus 2y common. So in the other bracket, we will have 3a minus x. And that is your factorized form. Question number 8 says, the number of steps taken by 12 people to walk 100 meters was recorded. The scatter diagram shows the heights of these people and the number of steps they took. What type of correlation is shown in the scatter diagram? If you look at the scatter diagram, as the value of the number of steps are decreasing, your value of height is increasing, which means as one increases, the other decreases, and that's inversely proportional. And if there is an inversely proportion between, and if there's an and if there's an inverse relationship between two variables, that means there is negative correlation. Then in the next part, you're asking us to draw a line of best fit. So for that, we will draw a line which is close to majority of the points and it has like an equal number of points above the line and below the line. So this is a line of best fit. Above the line, we have 4 points and below the line, we have 4 points as well. So this would be the line of best fit. And in the next part, it says the height of another person is 175 centimeters. Use your line to estimate the number of steps they would walk. So for 175 centimeters, let's draw a line from here. That's approximately 137. Yeah, that's 137. So the number of steps would be 137 for the person who has a height of 175. Number 9, it says, the scale drawing shows the positions of town A and town B. Find the actual distance in kilometers of town A from town B. What you will do is you will draw a line from A to B using a ruler. You will measure this distance, and whatever the value of this distance is from A to B, you will multiply that by 10. Why? Because if you look at this scale over here in the question, 1 centimeter is equal to 10 kilometers. And they want the answer in kilometers. So multiply the distance measured by 10 and we get the answer. Then it says town C is on a bearing of 140 degrees from town A and on a bearing of 235 degrees from town B. Mark the position of town C on the scale drawing. So what you will do is using your protractor, first you make your compass at A and at B. Once you've done that, what you will do is using your protractor, you measure the angle and see where 140 comes. So 140 is going to come somewhere over here. This is going to be a 140 bearing. And 235 is going to come somewhere over here. This is your 235. So once you would measure it accurately using your protractor, you would find your points and then you would just draw a line from that angle from A towards that angle. And this would be where C would be located. Question 10 says, Bilal goes for a cycle ride. He starts at 3 p.m., ends at 5:38, and takes a total of 25 minutes for rest during that time. So we need to figure out how many hours and minutes were spent cycling. So what we do is we subtract 3 from 5:38, which gives us 2:38. Now from 2:38, we will subtract the time he took to rest. So that's going to be 3, 1, and 2. So that's 2 hours and 13 minutes. Part B says Sonia walks to her aunt's house. She leaves home at 10:25. She walks a total of 10 kilometers at an average speed of 5 kilometers per hour. Work out the time Sonia arrives at her aunt's house. So first we find the time taken for her to walk. So that's going to be found by dividing the distance by the average speed. So that's 12 over 5, and that's equal to 2.4 hours. If you multiply 0.4 by 60, that's 24 minutes, which means 2 hours and 24 minutes. Now we need to add 2 hours and 24 minutes to 10:25 to find the arrival time. So that is 12:49. That is your answer. In question 11, it says C equals to 7 minus A over B. Find C when A equals to -4 and B equals to 2. So you just substitute the values. 7 minus -4 over 2, which is 7 plus 4 over 2, and that's 11 over 2. Then it says y equals to 5 to the power of x plus 1. Find y when x is -2. So we'll do y equals to 5 to the power of -2 plus 1. 5 to the power of -2 can be rewritten as 1 over 5 square, which is basically 1 over 25. 1 plus 25 over 25, and 26 over 25 is your answer. In question 12, it says using a straight edge and compass only in this question, construct the locus of points inside triangle ABC that are 5 centimeters from B and equidistant from A and C. So what you will do is you will take your compass, you'll open it to 5 centimeters. Once you've done that, you will put it at B, and then you will draw an arc of that 5 centimeters inside the triangle. So that will mean this distance is going to be 5 centimeters. And you can even check that by measuring the distance between the arc and the point B using a ruler. Then it said that the other locus point is equidistant from A and C. So that means you will draw a perpendicular bisector. You will measure the distance of AC. Then you will open the compass more than half the distance of AC. And once you've done that, you will put the compass at A and make an arc above and below AC. And then you will repeat the same steps from point C. You will draw another arc above and below it. And once you have done that, you will draw a line connecting the two arcs. And this would give you the locus of the points that are equidistant from AC and are inside the triangle. So basically, it's like this region that's they're talking about. Then it says, show the region inside triangle ABC containing the points that are less than 5 centimeters and from being closer to A than to C. So for that, what you would do it once you have your accurate arcs, since mine are like rough, you would just shade that part and closer to A than C. So it's going to be over here, this part. Question 13 says, write 108 as a product of its prime factors. So let's prime factorize 108. We know that 108 is divisible by 2. That's going to be 54. 54 is 9 times 6. 9 is 3 times 3. And 6 is 3 times 2. So 108 written as the product of its prime factors, it's going to be 2 square because there are 2 2's and 3 cube because there are 3 3's. Then it says find the lowest common multiple of 108 and 180. So we know that 108 is 2 square times 3 cube. So if we prime factorize 180, that's going to be 9 times 20. 9 is 3 times 3. 20 is 4 times 5. And 4 is 2 times 2. So 180 can be rewritten as 2 square times 3 square times 5. For the LCM, what we will do is we will multiply the most, like the higher values occurring in the factors for both the numbers. So for 2, it's 2 square. For 3, it's 3 cube. And 5 comes as it is. When you multiply this, that's going to be 4 times 27 times 5. That is 540. That is your LCM.